And we're live. Mike here with Jeff again, as always. Still not much news for us to talk about, so we just kind of thought about, or saw, we talked about it a little bit last time, actually. The list that came out for the top 20 centers, and we briefly touched on it. I think we might have even given like a top 5 or a rough top 5
Yeah,
we would have
we
given off the top of our heads, but we're going to take another look at that, and a winger one came out as well. We're going to take a look at that, kind of maybe critique it a little, see if will we make any changes to that. And there's Luongo news, his jersey getting retired, and we move on to the Metro division, and the Carolina Hurricanes are our first team to do a little dive on. So we can just kind of jump right in. And I think we can kind of jump in with the news that broke either yesterday or the day before or something like that. The Florida Panthers will be retiring their first ever jersey number in Roberto Luongo.
Yep.
Which, that's great for Luongo. And his retirement ceremony, I believe,
I think they
will be
announced
March
it.
7th, 2020, when they host the Montreal Canadiens. It should really be when they host the Vancouver Canucks.
I agree. But nevertheless, though, congrats Luongo on a fantastic career. Absolutely well deserved. He should get his jersey retired.
He is one of 3 goalies to play 1,000 games.
Yeah, and that's simply incredible. But remember, when he came back to Florida, like you said, he came back. That was his second stint.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I think he played much better the
He
second
did,
time
but
around than the first time around.
It's weird because you would think the team that would do it first would be
Vancouver.
Yeah, but I guess he was on. Oh, I didn't know that.
What's that?
He played with. He played 5 seasons with Florida before going to Vancouver.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Like I said,
Yeah.
That was his second stint.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to that. Okay.
Oh, good.
But yeah, good for him. Which doesn't make sense that it's with Florida, because he did. If you're putting it points wise, he did have more years with Florida, 11 to 8 years in Vancouver, and 1 year with the Islanders. And 99.
I forgot about the Islanders.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was bound to happen. So, yeah, he played 1,044 games in his career, with a total of a .919 save percentage and a .252 save goals against. It's not bad.
Not bad at all.
Mm-hmm. Just sucks he never really got that ring.
Yeah.
Or the cup. I guess really the closest he really came was with Vancouver.
In 2011.
Mm-hmm. But then he kind of wanted out in Vancouver, and
There's a whole bunch of things going on.
Mm-hmm. And I think he only maybe made the playoffs once or twice with Florida in the second stint.
Mm.
But still, that always sucks when
It
he
does.
Not that he didn't have a great career, and he's definitely going to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, for sure.
Future Hall of Famer, because he's one of only 3 to play over 1,000 games.
Right.
That's impressive. For 19 years, and the numbers he put up were great. Just was never able to get the drink out of the cup.
Yeah. And it's a team effort. It's on and off the ice. It's all about the team, and I think he's definitely one of those team guys, and he certainly had an interesting personality. But his Twitter page was very funny, but
but at the same time,
yeah,
at 39,
yeah, you just gotta know when to quit, and I think he picked the right time.
Because not everyone's Tom Brady.
No,
not everyone's Yager.
Ish.
If I want to bring it back to hockey, who played in their 40s or late 30s, early 40s. But yeah, good for Luongo. That's kind of the only really news thing going around the league at the moment. No one's still signed. Which is kind of why we thought about, because it seems that we felt like something should be, or we wanted to do kind of something fun, kind of sing or give our opinions on these things.
Yeah.
Which for both of us, I think we both disagree with these, really both lists, but more so the center list, I would have to say.
Yeah.
Which really, it seems for me that the ranking that this guy did was more so on how they did last year.
Mm-hmm.
And they were kind of, I think, more focused on offensive numbers.
Yes.
Because if I'm not mistaken, Sean Couturier, he was not on this list, I think had better numbers last year than he did the year before, where he was the Selke finalist.
Yeah.
But he is nowhere to be found on this top 20 list, Jeffrey.
No, he is not. And
and
pretty embarrassing, honestly.
And neither is Matt Barzell. Just found out,
which is amazing.
I mean, their top 5 goes as followed. Connor McDavid, no question, has definitely surpassed Sidney Crosby, who is now the second best, I'd have to say, center. I don't think there's really... I think it's a kind of decent gap between 2 and 3. For me, or then they went...
let's go over the whole list, and then we'll get into ours.
Sorry.
We got
3, they went with McKinnon, Barkov 4, Tavares 5, Matthews 6, Bergeron 7, Stamkos 8, Scheifele 9, Brandon Point 10, Tyler Seguin 11, O'Reilly 12, Malkin 13, Sebastian Aho 14, Jack Eichel 15, Evgeny Kuznetsov 16, Logan Couture 17, 18 Backstrom, 19 Sean Monahan, and 20 Elias Pettersson. And those last 2 are pretty much why my thinking of how they kind of came up with the list.
I agree. So what's your list, Mike?
My list goes as followed. Sidney, or not, wow. Oof, I almost messed up right from the beginning. We're already starting off great.
Oh, yeah.
I guess that's what happens when you have a 10-hour card ride yesterday.
Yeah, all right.
But it goes, for me, it's Connor McDavid. I almost did it again. Connor McDavid, Sidney Crosby, Bergeron, Sean Couturier, Anze Kopitar, Nathan McKinnon, John Tavares, Austin Matthews, Braden Point, Ryan O'Reilly, Scheifele, Carlson, Barkov, Stamkos, Seguin, Eichel, Kuznetsov, Malkin, Barzell, and then Backstrom. And I will give an honorable mention to Sebastian Aho as well. I think he's an up-and-coming. I don't think he's top 20 just yet.
Right.
And for me, the way I kind of did it, because I think all these are kind of different, and you see these how they do the top 20 kind of players. But for me, centers specifically, I'm looking at well-rounded centers.
Yeah.
When you're talking the top, I want to be able to do offensively and defensively just as well.
Yeah.
Not just like how well their points are, then maybe their plus minus is great. I'm looking more so how, more so Selke-wise, how a center would be more so than like as a heart.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely fair to say,
because I'm not denying the people who put up great stats or whatever, offensive numbers. But if you're a center, that's only half of your game.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know if you're the type of guy, because even Aho, I don't know if he's a guy, when it's in the defensive zone, do they throw him out there?
Right.
Or was it just Williams? Justin Williams.
Yeah. No, that's definitely a great point, though. And
but that's just kind of my thinking
right.
of how I kind of put these together, which is why I see Bergeron, Couturier, Kopitar kind of high on there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, and for me, the fact that they don't even have Sean Couturier
and Ryan O'Reilly kind of higher,
right,
too.
Or Matt Barzal on here is an embarrassment to the league.
He won Rookie of the Year the year before. He was on the list. This year, he's not.
It's ridiculous. Connor McDavid and Crosby, I think we can all agree 1 and 2, no doubt, in that order. Our list is going to be a little bit different.
Yes.
Bergeron, I do have 3 actually, because I was you got my list mixed up with last year's because I was looking at that, but I had the wrong date.
This is 2018.
Yeah, I was like, that makes sense now. Bergeron is 3. I think he's still absolutely one of the best centers in
centers.
Exactly, because looking at his stats and everything, he's just a true monster. He does so well in the faceoff circle. He does great ice time. He eats up a lot of minutes, and not only that, but he puts up points. And like you said, though, Mike, one of the very key factors for centers, honestly, for both of us, and I agree with you on this, is sure, it would be nice for them to put up points, but can they have that defensive aspect? Can they win key faceoffs?
Which is why I can kind of get Couturier at the beginning of his career. People were kind of...
Right. No, absolutely.
Really
but now, come on, look at him.
You can't not throw him
You
out
can't
there.
deny it, yeah. But, yeah, no, and so for my big thing is, can they win that key face-off late in a game when you really need that face-off win, either in your zone or in the opponent's zone?
When it's, let's put it at this point, 2 minutes left, their goalie's pulled, what center do you put out there?
Well, it depends on which team you are.
I know. Yeah, exactly. But
if you're
the team kind of keeping the lead or whatever, with the 5,
then
you want a guy
no matter
like
what,
Bergeron or Couturier or someone like that.
Let's say it's Boston against Philadelphia, for example.
The 2 guys.
Boston's up 3-2. Philly has their net pulled, but the face-off circle is going
to end up being the same 2 guys.
Right. The face-off circle is in Boston's zone. It's going to be Bergeron against Couturier. And I would honestly...
If it's the other way, it might be Giroux, because he's... Depending on which side.
Right. It really depends on the side, but still, either way, I'd be... because that draw could go either way. I almost would give that 60-40 for Bergeron and winning the face-off. Because, one, he's had more experience.
Well, let's put it this way, too.
Yeah.
I put it at 50-50.
Yeah, you definitely could, and that's the thing.
I was actually going to put back to the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
It was not Buffalo, wow, because that's who Ryan O'Reilly played on before.
Oh, Boston and St. Louis.
Boston and St. Louis. Bergeron, Ryan O'Reilly.
Yeah.
Ryan O'Reilly was the best off-center face-off-wise the whole playoffs.
Yeah.
I give that a 50-50 chance.
Yeah, no, that's a great example. That's perfect right there. It's so hard to tell.
Which is why it's great to have good wingers to kind of come in for you.
Exactly, because not only that, but you could tie up the other centerman on the faceoff. How to have your best winger swoop in. So for 3 is Bergeron. 4, this is a tough one. So Crosby and David say the same.
First 3 are the same.
Bergeron. So he was listed originally 7. I have him jumping up 4 spots.
Same.
Austin Matthews. This was a tough one, but I'm actually gonna have him. I'm still having a tough time with this. Matthews, he's becoming one of the most elite centers in the game. I'm gonna have him at 4, having him jump up 2 spots. John Tavares right smack there, perfect with 5. Number 6, I actually have Nathan McKinnon dropping down 3 spots. Mac, I love how he plays his game. I think he's one of the best pure centers and talents in the whole league. But I think compared to the other guys in front of him, it makes sense for him to unfortunately drop down 3 spots. Nothing against Mac. I think he's, like I said, a true centerman, true player for the Colorado Avalanche, and he's going to be a force to reckon with for years to come. Just unfortunately, the guys in front of him, they're much better centermen. 7 is Steven Stamkos. 8, I will have Sean Couturier, who will appear on my list.
He's not on their list.
He's not on their list. Actually, well, now that I'm kind of getting myself in a little trouble here because I do have O'Reilly at 9, but I'm kind of, you know what? I'll do this. O'Reilly, I'll have it 7. Yeah, you know what? I'm kind of changing this right now as we go. Sorry. O'Reilly 7. And I'm stuck kind of between Couturier at 8 and Stamkos at 9. I might go that route for now. I love Stamkos. He's probably my favorite player. That's not on the Flyers. It's such a tough thing to project. At 10, I have Alexander Barkov. He drops down 6 spots. I hate doing that to him. He's such a true talent. Tremendous.
In your defense, 4 is a little high for Barkov.
That I agree with. And that's why I wasn't comfortable with giving him that 4 spot. I think he's definitely a top 10 center.
Yeah.
But it's at number 10. Number 11, Mark Scheifele drops down 2 spots. Yeah. 12.
Okay, yeah. That was right. How they did that.
Yeah, 12. You might be surprised by this one. Logan Couture. I have him jumping up 5 spots. He really showed in the playoffs and overall how much of a true centerman he can be, not only as a player himself, but for the San Jose Sharks. And I'm going to bring up his stats right now just so I can support the idea of why I think he's worthy of that spot there. I'm trying to think. So under face-off wins, last season he won 282. He did. His face-off percentage was 46.3, just under 50%. But so I think that he was certainly, one of the better players. He was in the Selke voting, actually. Where was this? No, I'm sorry. No, he wasn't in this. In a way, he was. He was way down on the list, but still, the fact that his name's kind of being tossed out there for the Selke, like we would consider him being in for the Selke. I think that's really great for him. He certainly is a great leader, and he really showed that in the playoffs. Very poised, very calm and collective, and can really control the game. And I really like that about his style of playing. 13, Tyler Seguin of the Dallas Stars. 14, Nicholas Backstrom. I have him jumping up 4 spots. I think
you and I are both different on this one.
I know, and that's what I kind of like is
because maybe it's because I don't really follow the Capitals.
Where'd you have Backstrom?
20.
Wow, man, you had him drop 2 spots.
Yeah.
I'd jump up 4, but I just think for Backstrom though, 18's too low. 20's kind of too low as well.
So this is also being pretty nitpicky too, because 20th center in the NHL isn't bad.
No, don't get me wrong.
That's not bad at all.
And that's I'm glad you mentioned that because, and the fact that you did mention is because if you're a top 20 center in the NHL, the best league in the world for hockey, there's nothing to be ashamed of. Even if you're a top 25 center, that's awesome. Look how many centers there are. There are 4 centers per team essentially. And there's 31 teams.
He's a winger, but he's still technically a center.
Yeah, exactly. And there's other because we were even arguing about that earlier because we saw his name on the list and thought, wait, I thought he would, or no, that was Kuznetsov we're thinking of.
Because I always thought he was on the wing. But
yeah.
Because I always thought it was Kuznetsov,
Ovi.
Backstrom, and Ovi.
Yeah, exactly.
But I guess they went against that or something.
Right.
I don't know.
It is confusing though, but again,
even look at a guy like the Flyers got and Kevin Hayes.
Yeah,
he's not top 20.
No,
he might be top 40 maybe, top 30 somewhere around there.
Top 40, I would give him for sure.
But he's still just as effective.
Yeah, exactly.
These are the top center guys. These are your number 1 centers.
Exactly. Like almost all of these.
Which is why you'd be a little harder on these guys.
Exactly. Literally, essentially, all of these players are your number 1 centers, if not your number 2.
These are the guys when it comes down to those situations. You're like, we know this guy's going in.
Exactly.
You don't have to hesitate. This guy's already off the
Exactly.
bench.
Like literally, Stamkos,
5-on-3
Bergeron, Matthews, Barkov, Tavares, Crosby,
5-on-3,
McDavid, McKinnon.
You know the center who's going out there.
Exactly. O'Reilly,
4-on-3.
Couturier, Couture, like I said, he's very calm. He's very poised. He's very relaxed.
Yeah.
And you don't really see him,
Even a guy that was
hesitate.
Even a guy that was on his list last year, who we don't really think of, was what's his name?
I love that guy.
Yeah, me too. Getzlaf.
Yeah. No, and
He's just as great defensively.
he really is. And they did have him kind of high on the list last year. If
they had him at 20.
Or no, it was 20, but still, I thought that was a little too high. I wasn't going to include him on the top 20. Maybe definitely top 25, not top 20, but still.
Only because he's older.
Well,
As
that
age
and
catches up to you.
age
you
does catch up, and it's definitely shown for Getzlaf. Unfortunately, he's still a good center, but
and that's not even saying if you're not a top 20 center, doesn't mean you can't be effective
exactly.
or elite. Just look at a guy like Filppula.
Yeah, look how great he did with Islanders last year. He helped lead them to the playoffs.
Even with the Flyers, when he was on their third line, he wasn't the best, but he was face-off wise, he was one of the best.
He was real solid.
Yeah,
he was one of the best out there for Philly. So Couture at 12. Backstrom at 14, 15. Jack Eichel, perfect spot for him. Still rather young. Still a lot to prove, but I like what I'm seeing so far from Eichel.
I have him at 16.
Yeah, and 15,
16,
I think that's a real good spot for him.
Because I'm actually I'm not surprised by that, but I'm kind of surprised by that because I feel like I thought people were going to be harder on Eichel just because
he's a captain too.
Well, he's captain. You compare him to McDavid all the time because the
right, the 1 and 2,
but you can say the same thing about McDavid. They both Connor McDavid did it once. They made it to the playoffs, but Buffalo under Eichel has not made the playoffs.
That's why I'm kind of expecting really big things from Buffalo this year. They've Eichel, they've Dahlin, they have Marcus Johnson now.
You hope, but
you would hope.
The Atlantic
It's
the
just,
middle of the Atlantic got better.
It did, and it's just I feel bad for teams like Buffalo because it's as much as you want them to do well and everything, it's almost the only reason they would ever make the playoffs is if
they probably have one of the best young defensemen out there.
Yeah. They really, really
They
do.
are a team to look out for in the future.
I think so. And it's exciting for them. But the only problem is
I'm not
they would have to make the wild card. But even that's not realistic for the most part because almost all the wild card spots, or almost both wild card spots, are going to go in the Metro.
Because in the next, let's say, 3 to 4 years, because the NHL changes quickly. Because the Atlantic, unfortunately, it's not changing that much.
No.
The one team that you can say is possibly going to change, I think, is Boston.
That's
not just because of the top 3, and mainly it's just the 2. Because Dave Pasternak's still young.
Yes.
They have Charlie McAvoy.
They got to re-sign him, but they do have him.
Yeah.
They have
Chuka, obviously.
Brandon Carlo.
Yeah.
The
end of Chara.
End of Chara, end of Bergeron. You saw Marchand for a while. Bacchus, a couple more years.
So once those guys start to go, they're going to fall off. One of these teams below them are going to get that third spot.
Yeah, and they're going to take advantage for sure. Absolutely.
And I could probably give Buffalo just as much of a chance as Montreal.
Yeah.
Or even Florida, but still.
No, you really, really could.
Mm-hmm. We really like going on these tangents.
Oh, absolutely. And I think it's just, it helps everything, And then, all right, so 16 for me, Braden Point. I love Braden Point. He's one of my favorite young players to watch for Tampa. Nothing against him, except he's more just a goal scorer than center. You could throw him at wing, and he have no problem transitioning. He's dropping down 6 spots for me. 17. Sorry, what did you have him?
I have him at, hold on. 9.
Yeah, I mean, and you could really, that's why it's so tough to judge where they would go.
Where was he at Wingers?
But yeah, no, I just think that
it was one higher than he had it. He had him at 10.
All right.
I'm at 9.
Yeah, but it's like it's just so hard to judge where these guys are going to go. I love Braden Point's game. I think he's tremendous.
And I think what helps with that
but
as well is because someone you just mentioned and Steven Stamkos.
Right. And that's also why I think he's a little lower on this list.
Yeah.
He'd be a great number 2 center.
Mm-hmm.
But Stamkos obviously is number 1. But then again, you kind of don't want to split up the tangent of Point and Stamkos. It's almost like Drew Couturier.
Yeah.
Literally just throw Point to the wing just like Couturier or Drew has.
Not that Edmonton really likes this, but they do the same thing with
Draisaitl and McDavid. Exactly.
Even though Draisaitl should be a center.
Exactly.
He is not.
Kuznetsov, 17. Drops down a spot. And a lot of people I know for this next guy, they're going to really despise it. But I really think his game's dropped off. Evgeny Malkin finally appearing at 18, dropping down 5 spots.
We have him at the same point.
Yeah, all right. And nothing against Malkin. It's just...
Yeah, he was 13.
Yeah, I don't think... Of all the players on the list, I don't think he's worthy of top 50. Like, he used to be a top 10 center.
Yeah, but the other thing, too,
every year, I feel like his game's dropped off.
As much as... I don't know really what the relationship was between him and Kessel.
Right.
But the two of them, that's going to be a big loss for him, losing Kessel.
I agree. I really think so.
And Kessel, too.
Yeah, and because although they were pain in each other's backside, they still did good together. But
and as good as a guy you can put on there as whoever they got.
Galchenyuk.
He might just be with Crosby, or he might just replace him, but as great as he's going to be, he's not going to put up the numbers that
Kessel did. No. It's going to hurt them. But I think Galchenyuk's still going to put up a good amount of numbers.
But not, you can't expect them to put up Kessel numbers.
Exactly. So we'll see what happens.
If you expect him to put up Phil Kessel numbers, you're going to think he's not going to do well.
Yeah. 19. I'm adding to the list Matthew Barzal. So
I also have him at 19.
All right, there you
go. But
that's
just because it didn't take him out from the way he did.
I'm kicking off Sean Monahan. I love Monty.
Yeah, I took off Monahan and.
I mean, come on, you can't have Matt Barzal not on this list.
No.
I think,
and
he's so good. Like literally, his handset alone should have him on this list.
That was actually a toss-up. I was kind of contemplating putting Monahan at 20.
Right.
But
and I think he's close, but it's you got to have Barzal on this list.
I think still has some to prove.
He's definitely a lot more to prove.
Top 20.
I'm happy he won Rookie of the Year. I think he deserved Rookie of the Year. He will be a great young star in years to come. It's just he's not a top 20 right now for center wise. He's getting there, but he's not a top 20. So I'm kicking off Monahan.
If you really look at some of the points this guy makes, it's points based.
Yes,
that's why he did. That's why he put Elias Pettersson.
Exactly. And then at 20, unfortunately for the Rookie of the Year, you gotta go. I'm putting Sebastian Aho at 20, and Aho's dropping down 6 spots for me.
Yeah.
So that's where I have my top 20 centers list.
This could be a big year for Aho too.
I think it could. He's got a lot to prove.
I think his role is going to kind of improve more.
Right.
I think he'll get more of those defensive ability or situations.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they do or don't sign, what's his face? Williams.
Yeah.
Because that still hasn't even happened yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was 20, right?
That was 20.
Yeah, so we were a little different, but, everyone has their own kind of thinking of how their top guy center should be or whatever. But you and I are kind of similar on what we think. This guy pretty much went on points.
Yep.
But yeah. But because of that did bring a lot of people in the Philadelphia area to kind of ponder why Sean Couturier can never get any kind of mention.
Right.
Because I'm sure a lot of people thought he was, and I'll even say this too. I'm already going to give my poll prediction for next season.
Go for
and I'll
it.
say it again for when we do our predictions and everything.
Absolutely.
Later on when we do all that. Sean Couturier will be a Selke finalist.
He should be. He rightfully so.
I think he will be. Oh yeah, Tays wasn't on that list either.
Yeah, that was someone I was contemplating on.
I was kind of contemplating on, but I was like, yeah, makes sense. I mean, he's not as good as he used to be. He's still effective, don't get me wrong, but
Right.
yeah. But some people in Jordan Hall put his list out there for an article for NBC Sports Philadelphia.
Yeah.
He has Couturier at 19.
Wow.
Just above Tays. He has Backstrom, Monahan, Aiko, Aho above him, and Point.
Yeah.
What you mean? If you're really gonna put, I think he's better than both all those players, but that's just me. I put him
right.
I put him up high because I've kind of seen what he all of his career has been able to do, center wise, and now that I'm assuming Vigneault would do the same thing and put him in the right situations and not just defensive zone, he will continually put up these numbers.
Right. I'm expecting it.
Yeah. Do you want to jump onto the wings or?
Yeah, we can.
So this one came out on the 11th of August. The other one came out on August 4th. So that was a little while ago. That one I will admit, but I feel like we needed to give it a little more attention than we did last
I agree.
podcast.
Because we briefly
touched on it, but that was
definitely
a big,
not enough.
yeah. But this one, again, it's another thing where I'm like, some of these I don't like. Some of these I kind of can get. Nikita Kucherov, number 1.
Yes.
I can completely get that. Then he has 2 Patrick Kane. Okay, I want to have him too, but okay. Ovi number 3, Brad Marchand 4, Mitch Marner 5, Draisaitl 6. Don't agree with that. Gaudreau 7, Panarin 8, Mikko Rantanen 9, David Pastrnak 10, 11 Blake Wheeler, 12 Claude Giroux, 13 Mark Stone, 14 Vladimir Tarasenko, 15 Taylor Hall, not right. Jonathan Huberdeau 16, 17 Matthew Tkachuk, don't think that's really right either, but that actually might be right. Landeskog 18, Patrick Laine 19, and Phil Kessel 20. Those would be his top 20. Which some of those I do kind of agree with. I would actually kind of switch the top a little bit for me. As great as Patrick Kane is, I still think Ovi's better than you. Yeah. I think Ovi's better than Patrick or than Kane. I still think he's the number 2 center or winger. Sorry.
Right.
But that's one because my thinking for centers is they should be more well-rounded. Wingers not so much.
It's definitely more scoring.
Yeah, more scoring. It's not. I'd like you to be a little more, have a little defense to you, but it's not that important.
Right. I will say this though. Sorry to cut you off, but Kucherov is probably the best display for what you need in a winger. Guy who can score, and when you absolutely need him to, in case you get caught in the 2-on-1, he can back check like there's no tomorrow. And I will give Ovechkin a lot of credit. He used to not be able to. He wasn't that team guy that the Caps needed him to be, but I can't remember what year it was, but ever since this one year, he's just been nothing but a true team player, and he really earned that captaincy. Because there was, for a little while, at one point, I thought Caps need a kick in, a different direction. Maybe strip the captaincy from Ovi, really send a message. But and this is before they won the cup. So and this is when he really stepped up his game. Was really
when they won the cup, it seemed like he was enjoying hockey again.
exactly.
Like we saw a different Ovi.
Oh, you really did, and I love to see it. There's nothing but a better guy out there to win the cup currently. That had not won a cup really. Obviously, there's other guys I would like to win first, but he's definitely on that list for guys I would love to see win the cup, and he did. And I'm really thrilled for Ovechkin. He deserves it. He's fantastic, just amazing to watch. Do you want to go first again, or do you want me to go?
I'm actually just finishing out my list now.
All right. In that case, I can go first while you're adding finishing touches.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Kucherov, I think we can both agree Kucherov at 1. Patrick Kane, he's not number 2. There's no way he's number 2. I have Ovechkin deserving to be at 2. David Pastrnak at 3. This is a tough one. So Pastrnak, well, actually, he jumps up for me 7 whole spots, and there's no way he's a 10th best winger in the league. He's definitely better than 10. 4. I decided to go with Kane. 5 Gaudreau. I'm kind of stuck on this too. I don't know if I want Gaudreau and then Kane, or how I have it now, and Kane then Gaudreau. Other way, 4 and 5. Those are the guys. Draisaitl 6, 7. Well, I lied. Draisaitl 7, Giroux 6. This is like, I keep changing my list all the time now. This is so tough. Sorry, Giroux 6. Now I'm gonna have Panarin 7, Draisaitl 8th, Marner 9th, Tarasenko 10th, Mark Stone 11th, Taylor Hall 12th, Mika Rantanen 13th, Brad Marchand 14th. He drops down 10 spots for me. I get it. He's a good player. He's a pain in the side again. He puts up points, but he's not really the type of winger that I'm looking for on my first line. I get it. And I might be a little biased and everything, but I'm just. It's not because I'm not the biggest fan of him. It's just because, rightfully so, there's much better wingers on this list I'd rather have than him. 15, Jonathan Huberdeau. I like Huberdeau a lot. I honestly thought he was going to be him or Aaron Ekblad of the Panthers was going to be the next captain, but they gave it to the guy on the top 20 centers that we listed.
Monahan?
Barkov.
Oh.
Monahan's on Calgary. Yeah, but 15 for Huberdeau just drops down 1 spot. I think it's pretty close. 16, Phil Kessel jumps up 4 spots. 17, Line A jumps up 2. 18, Blake Wheeler drops down 7. 19, Landeskog, and 20, Matthew Tkachuk. So I think they have, for the most part, essentially all the right names for the top 20 list, just in not the best order. I can't really think right now if there's any other wingers that's like a must-have on this list. Like Couturier and Barzell were for the top 20 centers list. I don't know if I have anyone like that for the top 20 wingers list that's absolutely missing, unless I just can't think of any right now. But Mike, what are your
I messed up. See, I kept changing it, but
yeah. And like I said, it's just so tough, trying to think like the best way.
All right, I got it.
All right. Where would you put Josh Bailey on that list? Could you put? You know what?
He's out.
He's out.
Yeah.
Okay. because I'm just looking at some other names right here. I'm not sure. But anyway, so I want to hear your list. I'm interested.
Okay. So number 1, obviously,
Kucherov.
Kucherov. Then I've got Ovi, Marner, Taylor Hall, Patrick Kane. Yeah, Patrick Kane at 5. Gaudreau at 6. Panarin 7. Stone 8. Drew 9. Rantanen 10. Pastrnak 11. Marchand, what did I just say, 11 or 12?
11.
All right, yeah. Marchand 12. Draisaitl 13. Wheeler 14. Line 15. Huberdeau 16. Kachuk 17. Tarasenko 18. Kessel 19. And Landeskog 20.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of on the same mindset of Brad Marchand as you, though.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be a pain in the ass and everything, but I don't know if I'd really want him on my first line. But with those three together and the chemistry they have, I wouldn't take them off.
Right, exactly. If you have Marchand, Bergeron, Pastrnak, that there's no denying the chemistry. There's something about it that.
And if you do realize, if you also look at this too, there's 2 teams here that have 3 guys in the top 20, centers and winger wise. That's
know
Boston and Colorado. Sorry.
Yeah. I was gonna say Boston because Marchand, obviously that top line Marchand, Bergeron, and Pastrnak, and then Colorado it's Landeskog, Rantanen and McKinnon. Yeah, no, that's wild.
And then there's also
there's
Tampa
2.
Bay. There's Tampa Bay too. There's Stammer.
Oh no, there's also 3 with Toronto: Matthews, Marner, and Tavares.
Mm-hmm. But I don't think those guys are together.
No, they're not. But still,
Point,
Kucherov, and yeah, Stammer.
Mm-hmm. So there's 3 of them. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, never mind. If it was what it was before, there would have been a 4th with Washington.
Right.
And Backstrom. Kuznetsov and Ovechkin.
Eesh.
You know what I noticed about this most, Jeffrey? The Russians are taking over.
They are. Americans, take back your team. But, all right, so looking at the top wingers and centers, who's like the biggest drop off for you? So, like, we'll start back.
In what way?
So, like,
From the year before or
ranking wise. Like, for example, let's start with wingers since we're on it right now.
Oh, from what the guy had to what we had? Oh, it's probably Mark Stone for me.
Mark Stone?
Mark Stone or Drew. Because Stone he had at 13.
And you had him pretty high.
Yeah, I had him at 9.
Yeah.
And Drew 10, he had Drew at 12. So I guess it isn't really that much of a jump.
Yep, mine is a big drop off. It's 10 spots with Marchand from 4 to 14.
Oh yeah, where did I?
You had him at like 12, I think. So 8. That's pretty big though.
Yeah, 12.
Now for centers.
Well, centers is the easy one. It's the people who weren't even mentioned.
Yeah,
you don't know where they would be.
That's true. For
me, it's Couturier.
Couturier.
For me, it's Couturier because I have him at 4.
I have him 8. Either way, it's either 16 jump up technically 16, 17 spots. For me, it's 12 or 13.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Or you can even throw Barzal, even though I have him at 19.
Yeah.
You don't know where you'd have them. Yeah.
Right, but so those are our lists, and then by the time the NHL releases the top goalies and top defensemen, we'll break that down as well. I know, but I love doing stuff like this. I think it's great.
It's one of those things to do during the off season when there's nothing going on.
And this is the good news is it's August 14th. And we got a month left until preseason hockey, essentially.
This is an interesting article I just saw.
What's that?
On the Courier
Courier?
Courier post on Ghost. It was a little snippet I saw Dave Isaac tweet out about his name being out there for trade rumors.
What?
Yeah. And his tweet that I just saw was Dave Isaac said, the quote that he put was, of course my agent's going to say, hey man, your name's been thrown out there, don't listen to it. But obviously you keep tabs on it. And then he has the link to the article where it says Shane Gosper opens up about trade rumors and more.
Interesting.
Also, Hoskins is leading off for some reason. Oh, no, he's not. Yeah, he is. Hoskins is leading off tonight.
Why? Hello, welcome back, Charlie Manuel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's also Nola versus Hamels.
Yup.
But the title is There's Definitely Going to Be a Fire in Me. It's a Q&A with Dave Isaac and
I like it.
Ghost.
It just, unless there's the absolute perfect deal.
That seems to be the way it was, because if you really think about it, and think about it the year before, not, as I'm saying this, not this past year, but the year before, but the year before that one, when he struggled then, and he was getting benched a bunch of times.
Was that the year he had his hip surgery?
Yeah. It was the year after he had the hip surgery.
Right,
there was another time when he was struggling, and everyone's like, oh, what's going on? He kept getting benched by Hackstall, and everyone hated that, including us. But and then the next year, he played great.
Yeah,
he was one of the best defensemen the next year, because he obviously had the fire to play really well.
He's 17 goals.
Yeah, it's going to happen again.
Yeah. No, I'm just counting on it.
Because last year he had a down year, and that article said he's going to be playing with some fire or whatever, and I see it happening again.
No,
and not even just that. Yeah. It's because it's going to be in a third pair, most likely, with Phil Myers. That's going to be a great pair.
That's going to be unbelievable.
And not just because they're going to be great together, but because they're both going to be puck-moving defensemen.
They're both offensive mindsets. They both have some speed.
Yeah.
Obviously, Ghost has more speed than Myers.
They don't have to go against the tops.
Yes. And that's really going to help Gostisbehere's game.
I think Vigneault is going to get that and not really put him out there on defensive kind of things.
It's like, here's the thing, though.
Because first you're going to go off against Niskanen and Profi, and then you're going to go Braun because...
Braun and Sanheim.
Yeah, because Braun's really good defensively.
Yes.
Sanheim's good.
I still don't get why people think getting Braun is such a bad trade.
Because he has no offensive abilities.
Yeah.
Because the guys don't look at him, or the old kind of hockey guys that don't really look at advanced stats or whatever, see him as a better, much better improved Haig, or a better version of Gudas.
Well,
except not really taking the hits. He does kind of the little things, but great defense in the defensive zone. But he doesn't really have the offensive ability. So his offensive numbers are dragged down, advanced statistics-wise, because he's not really going to do anything offensively.
I mean,
which would also benefit Sanheim because he can.
Yeah, that's why if he's paired with Sanheim or even Gostisbehere,
that would be fine.
I'm not worried because either one of them can just bring the offense. Like, sure, it'd be nice to see him pass the puck around and get some points here and there. But if he doesn't put up a whole lot of points, I'm not going to be sweating and losing sleep over. I'm like, all right, who
would
cares?
you lose sleep if Haig didn't put up money points?
No, not even close. As long as
or even Gudas?
No,
as long as he Gudas, you're not going to have Gudas anymore. He's just going to shoot it once he gets in the puck.
Like, literally, as long as he just hits people and just blocks shots and
he's good in his defensive zone.
Yeah, good.
Does not deflect anything in.
Yeah, right. Brandon Manning, I'm looking at you. That's all that matters.
Yeah,
that's all that matters. I don't, sure, and people might call me crazy for saying, "Oh, don't you want offensive points?" Of course I do.
But you have plenty of other defensemen that can do that.
You have an explosive amount of offense.
You have that coming out of Ghost,
Sanheim, and Myers, and even Provorov.
Yeah, Provorov.
And you could argue the same thing with Niskanen.
Sure, but
here and there.
Yeah.
He's obviously more defensive minded, but still, you can argue the fact that
So he can afford having that.
Exactly. So it's something like that. I'm not worried.
No.
I think Braun's gonna be good here. I think he'll be just fine.
Even though you think he would have been better last year, just because you would have thought, because you have both Braun and Carlson, that some of the pressure would have been taken off him.
Right. Not only that, but he brings a lot of playoff experience and that veteran
So does
leadership. Say that Niski, who's
Hayes.
won a cup.
Not really Hayes, but he's been in that.
No, he's been in the situations before. But still, like the fact that they all have playoff experience, they're all veteran guys.
And you obviously have the Flyers.
And you have a bunch of young players. Like Niskanen and Braun, they're going to help Provorov and Gostisbehere, Sanheim, and Myers so much. It's awesome. I'm looking forward to it. I really can't wait.
Same.
So I think we'll be good. So before we get to the Metro, a minor trade happened. Well, kind of a minor trade. Literally right before we got on, Adam Earn, the rights to him got traded to the Detroit Red Wings in exchange for a 2020 fourth-round pick. I think this is a really good trade for both teams. It does not sound like that, obviously, Tampa Bay. Well, of course, obviously not going to sign him now, but another team helping out Tampa Bay because this gives them now a better chance to sign Point.
9.3, almost 9.4 mil. They have a cap space. Well, almost all of it will go to Point. But we kind of got on a tangent there just because I saw the thing on Ghosts on Twitter.
Right.
And it got me distracted, and that's what happens here.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show. But
the tangent show.
Yes. We have ideas where we want to go, but sometimes we just go on our own little tangents, and those tangents go on tangents.
You're right.
But yes, now we're gonna get to the Metro. We finished the Pacific Division last podcast with the Flames. Which wasn't there another news there with the Flames?
Oh yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. They lost one of their top defensive prospects. I had his name. Let me bring it back up because I accidentally closed out of it. It's one of those hard names to pronounce. Juuso Valimaki has sustained a torn ACL while training during his off-season training. So he's out indefinitely. The GM for Calgary says the team will be looking externally, meaning trade, for help on the blue line on the top of internal options. He says Oliver Kylington is a natural internal option, but says the team will also start looking at trade options very shortly. So now...
Goes for Gaudreau.
Okay. Realistically, though, could you see Robert Haig going to Calgary?
That's what I was going to say, Haig or Morin.
Exactly.
But Haig would bring more value, so I might do that one.
So we'll see what happens. But so Calgary and Philly could... I'm not saying they will be, but it is a slight possibility they could be linked for a defensive trade.
They might have a little bit of a trade... Or was that with... Yeah, a little bit of a trade thing, because they kind of agreed on a trade, but Simmons said no.
Yes, that's right. So there is some,
they've talked
potential there, yeah. And Oliver Kylington is another top prospect for Calgary, who I think will make the team. But also big news for Carolina. It's perfect that we're actually talking about them because their GM and current president has signed a long-term deal to remain in Carolina.
Don Waddell.
Yeah, all right. So, because there's been rumors saying that he was possibly going to leave the team to become the GM for the Wild. But it's official, he's staying in Carolina. So now let's go to Carolina, Mike.
Also, can I just say this before we even get on to Carolina? Why all former Flyers players that become coaches of other teams do well?
I don't know. They just do.
Rick Tocchet won 2 cups with the Penguins.
Burby just won the cup.
Ruby won the cup. Brind'Amour did great with the Hurricanes last year in his
He
first year.
took the bunch of jerks to the conference finals. I love it. It's crazy. But that's just a great question.
Hackstall's not going to be the next one.
If he is, I am lost for words. I'm going to be not happy. But he's an assistant, so that's not as much.
Yeah.
It'll still piss me off, but
Mhm.
not, So
But
Toronto, I don't think you have permission to win the cup for a couple years until Hackstall's gone.
Yeah. I'm sounding
Sorry.
over the guy standing in front of the camera, but yeah, that's what my.
Alrighty.
But yeah, this is a team that I'm still.
I love this team.
Yeah, because the Metro is one of the because we've talked about it many times of how kind of even, I guess is the right word, it kind of is between the teams.
Yeah.
And that you can kind of predict it, but you really can't because these teams are good, but they have holes.
Yep.
And I think because they even did a little write up before all the other trades and stuff happened with New Jersey or whatever, on Carolina and everything. But for me, when I look at this team, they got a steal out of Niederreiter.
Oh my God, absolutely, especially for Victor Rask. Or was no? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Victor Rask. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I like Rask, but Niederreiter is such a better player.
I don't know why they made that trade.
Well,
but
again, this is one of the many reasons why the GM for Minnesota was let go.
Ron Hextall? Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Because that trade to me means you're we don't think we might make it to the playoffs because I think if you're thinking that, you might want to keep Niederreiter.
Oh yeah, think about how much trade value he would have had. The fact that he just got Victor Rask.
Yeah.
Nothing against Rask, but that's an embarrassment as a GM.
Mm-hmm.
That's pathetic. Niederreiter is at least worth a first rounder. All right, I don't know about at least a first rounder, but Niederreiter and probably a second and or a third.
He's still only 26.
Yeah. And look at his contract.
Yeah.
He's locked up till 2022, 2023.
All their core guys, because
they're gone.
Yeah.
They're literally gone because it's Niederreiter's gone. Coyle's gone.
I meant for Carolina.
Oh,
I was talking about Carolina. We were not talking about Minnesota.
Well, I know, but I was just saying.
I was saying how if you look at these contracts,
all right, we'll get to Minnesota
the
when
core
we get to conference or Pacific Division.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
The core of Carolina is kind of set contract.
It's coming together.
Yeah. You still have a couple years to sign Svechnikov, and that's really the only contract you're going to have to worry about.
Yeah. You do have Warren Fogle, who performed exceptionally well last year during his rookie season.
This was another big loss for them, too, in the playoffs. TVR.
Yeah, that
was a bigger loss than I think people really realized. And that was another thing, too. This team went to this conference final with a bunch of guys hurt.
I know. Imagine them healthy.
Yeah.
They definitely wouldn't have gotten swept. I think they would have still probably lost.
I don't think they would have got swept, but...
Well, no. I'm saying they wouldn't have gotten swept.
Sorry.
I'm
saying
saying
they still would have gotten...
No. Okay. That's my fault. I think I phrased that wrong. They wouldn't have gotten swept. I think they would have made it to 6 games.
I agree. And Aho's the only guy that signed.
Yeah.
Out of the big names that were out there.
And this is the best part for them. He signed to a deal that shouldn't even be a thing for him.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, it's...
And the only reason why that happens is because someone's going to try to offer sheet him.
Yeah. $8.45 million until 2024, 2025.
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad at all.
Not bad at all.
That's ridiculously low. Literally, Waddell basically laughed at the fact that, Montreal offer sheeted him for that low.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. Mm-hmm.
This is the thing, though.
Yeah.
Because I said all these teams kind of have a hole, and we'll kind of get into the holes of each of these teams when we talk about them. Their hole is still, for me, goaltending.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big hole.
Agreed.
They don't have McElhaney anymore, and they got rid of someone else, too. Who was their other goalie they had? Scott Darling, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they still have Peter Mrazek and James Reimer that they got from Florida, which Mrazek did great in the playoffs.
He did.
It looks like it's still going to be kind of a tandem there, but it's still only because we saw Mrazek for that little time in Philadelphia and he didn't do that well. I don't know if I can really still trust Mrazek to keep it going. I mean, maybe he has better coaches that are coaching him, or
right.
because if you look at this team overall, defensively they're pretty good.
They have Dougie Hamilton, Jacob Slavin, Justin Falk, Brett Pesci, Trevor Van Riemsdyk, Gustav Forsling, Hayden Fleury.
Yeah.
The worst one there, and he's not even that bad, is Gustav Forsling.
Mm-hmm.
Falk, he was so good in the playoffs.
He was.
The one play that always sticks in my mind against the Islanders was that aerial pass. Or no, sorry. Yeah, was the aerial pass that he received coming out of the penalty box by someone.
Yeah. I remember that.
That was just incredible. But he's
I think
on
the playoffs actually really helped the Hurricanes too.
Yeah.
And that the only really reason why people were talking about them during the season was because the big jerks and all that. All the stuff they do after they win a game at home or whatever. All the celebrations and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they stopped doing that because once it came down to being serious, they were like, we're legit.
Yeah. It's funny because every other team's laughing at them, and they're like, all right, like, laugh all you want.
I know what my favorite thing is, though.
Yeah.
I saw this on Twitter the other day, and that I guess the Avalanche have a bunch of bullies or whatever ticket plan, and the Hurricanes were one of them.
Oh, the bunch of
And
jerks
it's-
playing.
Yeah, a bunch of jerks, and like, and they said we're actually like the Hurricanes.
Yeah, right. I love it. It was so funny. Some of these social media teams, they are
I know.
fantastic.
The Hurricanes have a good one too.
They do. They're awesome.
Their offense is good. It's above average, I would say.
They definitely did some work in the all season. They got Ryan DeZingle. They got Eric Holla.
Mm-hmm.
They had Patrick Marleau, which I thought would have been a good trade,
But
they bought him out,
didn't want to stay.
which is fine. Not only that, but
The one thing I don't get, though,
Yeah.
is why haven't they signed... Because they don't have to worry about signing anyone else, right? Some little guys.
not this year.
Just some little guys in their system.
Oh.
Two RFAs. Why haven't they gone...
Kunin.
Unless
Yeah.
unless Williams is contemplating retiring. I don't know
Yeah.
why they haven't signed him yet.
Right. Well, then again, he's not the only one. Look at all these other names that
I
are out
mean,
there.
They're out there, but they're older.
So is Williams out.
I know, but I don't know if he'd want... I thought he would he liked it in Carolina. I thought he would want to stay. Like Marlowe, because he worked out with the...
Sharks. Same thing with Joe Thornton. And practice facility on Monday.
Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, probably means they're going to sign him soon, but...
I'd imagine.
I would think that would be a little harder just because their cap situation is kind of not great.
Yeah.
I mean, Carolina only has like $2.5 million left, but
Right.
how much could Williams really kind of...
I think
demand?
right now, I think,
What was his last... Let's look at this.
while you're looking that up, this is where it gets tough, though, because you might want to lock him. You might want to have him eat up the rest of a decent amount of that money for the cap space and lock him up for at least 2 years.
So he signed...
Yeah. Because...
for his last contract that he signed in 2017 was 2 years, $9 million.
$9 million?
4.5 per year.
My gosh.
Which is more than he had the contract before that, because that was 2 years, $6.5 million that he got from the Capitals.
So my thing is
3.25 per year.
So unless he signs like 1 year,
Weird.
2.49 mil.
That's really weird because that past contract was the most he made.
Yeah.
Well, and as in per average,
Right. But here's my thing though.
Because the most he made was 17.
Right. But here's my thing though, Mike. Carolina, they might be screwed unless they make another move. Or Williams is willing to take a pay cut. I don't think they can afford him because even if they sign him for a year deal, he's not going to get much. And then you have to worry about re-signing him again next year. But then you have to worry about re-signing Eric Holla, Fogle, Gibbons, Bishop, Walmark, Justin Falk, TVR, Fleury, Forsling.
He is 37.
He's a 37, yeah. He's their captain. He's a great captain.
He is.
I just don't know what Waddell should do.
I will also say this too. As great as a leader and everything too, I'm sure that actually really helped that he was there too, because how young the team is.
Yeah.
Because their average age offensively is 24, little less than 25, little over 25 for D, and then 29 for goalies. So the oldest guy they have right now is 31, Brian Gibbons. And James Reimer. So I got bringing them back because the veteran leadership, but I don't think it'd be the worst thing if we didn't sign either. Just because of how good this team is. Because I'm sure I think you can give Dougie Hamilton a captaincy.
No.
You don't?
You're not going to give...
Sorry. So I think you can give Stahl or Falk the captain.
Well, Stahl was the captain for at one point.
He was before Williams.
And then Williams came back.
Yeah. So
I don't really... At least I'm just not the biggest...
do this.
Yeah.
Give Stahl the C, Aho the A.
Definitely Aho the A.
And then Falk has the other A right now. So.
Yeah. Definitely Aho the A. I mean, you've had Stahl as your captain before. It's up to you. I'm not the biggest fan of Jordan Stahl. I don't know how much of a leader he is. I could be wrong. He could be
might
a
also
great.
Just be because out of these guys, he's been there the longest.
Right,
So
and that's definitely a possibility.
Seniority. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, seniority.
There you go.
The other guys.
But
that's just what I would do if they weren't to sign Justin Williams and captaincy wise, or even give Nino Niederreiter an A.
I consider that.
I think he might have had an A in Minnesota. I'm not sure though.
I don't know for sure, but it's definitely possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I'm excited for Carolina.
I don't think last year was a fluke year for them.
It wasn't, and that's what I'm saying. Because I had them in the playoffs last
Obviously,
year when we predicted our season.
Yeah.
I'm having them going back again.
Obviously, goalies will be a big factor.
Yes.
And their defense isn't nearly as good as, say, obviously Tampa Bay and them.
Here's something
where you don't really have to worry about goaltending
Right.
as much, even though their goalie's just as good.
So here's my thing for Carolina. Could you see them? This is
also why I said, and that they kind of remind me of the 2010 Flyers.
Yeah, they really do. A lot of depth.
They have the depth.
Is there, but they somehow made it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have young guys that are good, Giroux.
Yes. Aho.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just...
Svechnikov.
Yeah, my thing is, though, I think they might just trade for a goalie.
They already did.
Well, no, I know, but, because unless you're that comfortable with Mrazek and Reimer, I'm not that comfortable.
I'm not that comfortable either, but they were with Mrazek and McElhinney last year.
And it somehow worked, but I don't know. We'll see how
Unless
it pans out.
they must think Reimer is an upgrade from McElhinney because they didn't resign him back. He's in Tampa Bay
Yeah,
now.
you're not wrong. I mean, McElhinney was a surprise factor for me last year.
Mm-hmm. He came in when Mrazek got hurt.
Yeah, and he did great. Then the issue was they kept McElhinney in, right? And then they went back to Mrazek, and then they were kind of done from there, unfortunately.
But I'm just kind of just so you're not thinking. I think the 2010 Flyers they're going to make it to the Stanley Cup. Not saying that, just because of how the team looks.
Yeah. No, I definitely think they're making the playoffs.
But they don't have.
Relies
the
on
one thing they don't
goaltending.
have from the 2010 team is a Chris Pronger-like player.
Yes. Hey, maybe that's where they acquire Sam Marin.
Or no, I meant more like. I guess that's really Justin Williams' part, as in they have the veteran
leadership. I wasn't sure if you meant veteran leadership or if you meant
veteran leadership wise that has the experience.
Yeah, and that's kind of where, like you said, goes back to Justin Williams. Yeah, he's been
in those situations.
He's won the Stanley Cup before.
Kings.
Back in Carolina in 2006 and Carolina. That's right, in LA.
Yep.
Twice, right?
Yep.
Or just once.
I think
Where was he in 2012?
I think he might have still been there. Hold on.
So he was in 14. He was a big factor in why they won in 2014. 2012, I can't remember where he was. Oh, I want to say he was on LA, and then he
was
went
on
to
LA until 2014-15.
What year did he go there?
2011-12.
Oh yeah, so that's literally like his first season in LA. He helped them win the cup.
Yeah, because he went from 06 to 10-11 being in Carolina after having 1 year.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, but no, I like Carolina's direction. I think it's great where they're going in. Brendan Moore, he's a good head coach. Only great things for him to come from here. I think he has what it takes to win Jack Adams Coach of the Year award at some point. Carolina, they just need to improve their goaltending. Defense could get if they had one good piece on the defense, like veteran wise. Like, don't get me wrong, I like Falk. I think they need a more veteran leader than Justin Falk. Again, nothing against him. It's just they did mention the fact that you need that Chris Pronger-esque veteran leader on the defense. That's where you need someone who has more seniority than Falk.
Obviously, that's why they brought Hamilton in.
Yes, exactly.
Because
Doug Hamilton. Exactly. No, I think that was good. If they can get one other
really
player like that.
He doesn't really have the playoff experience that much.
I don't think so. No, that's true.
Because I think it was after the Bruins.
Yeah.
Won.
Yeah.
But he still is a veteran. He's been around. He's been in. So I think he's a good kind of person for the younger guys to kind of look up to. But yeah, that's kind of my thing with Carolina. Again, I don't know where these teams are going to end up, but I'll probably come up with it before we come up with that podcast when we do our predictions of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's going to be where we ended today. Next time, the sad and unfortunate Columbus Blue Jackets.
Yes. So we'll see you guys in Columbus.